Our test will still have that here Friday. And again, that covers sections 1.1 through 1.4 and 2.1 through 2.3. What I want to do is just take a little bit of time and point out some of the high points, cover a lot of different stuff. A lot of different stuff in these first couple review sections. So I do want to take a little bit of time and just kind of point out some of the things that we talked about. One of the things we primarily talked about early on were exponents. Right, simplifying expressions with exponents, whether they be fractional exponents or whether they be fractions with exponents, positive, negative exponents, all that kind of stuff. We then talked about polynomials. Right. We talked about factoring polynomials. And then we also talked about solving equations. And in solving equations, we really looked at two main approaches to solving equations, and that by factoring and the quadratic formula. So you could be asked specifically to use either one of those approaches on a problem. If the problem doesn't instruct you that you have to do it a certain way, then you're free to choose, whatever approach you want to do. In the second section, the main focus was on algebraic fractions, right, where we had to either add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Right. So you may be asked to multiply or add or subtract or divide fractions at some point. And then we talked about inequalities. And interval notation. Right, we have the basic inequalities, where we have a linear inequality, and we can solve those just by using our various techniques for solving. And then we looked also at polynomial or fractional inequalities, where we have to get it greater than or less than 0, and then proceed from there to find out when is it 0, when is the denominator 0 if we have a fraction. And remember, we tested those values by graphing them on a number line and testing values inside and outside. Okay. We then talked about the distance formula. And we also talked a little bit about the equation of a circle. We didn't spend a lot of time on that, so I wouldn't expect more than a question or two on each at the most. And then we talked about linear equations. Right, finding the equation of the line, intercepts, all those different things. And so all the different ways you could find the equation of a line. Okay. This is 1.4. And then we got into 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3. 2.1, we started talking about functions. And one of the things we talked about with functions was the idea of its domain.